Hello and welcome to the eVenture family channel. Today we're off for just a short adventure, taking our Rivian R1S over to Pennsylvania to Grandmama's house. And it's our first time all together here in the Rivian now with the latest software update, which is version 2024.19.04, which brings a whole bunch of changes to the design on the screen, the UI with this 3D cell shading, new live view cameras added for blind spot monitoring, climate control improvements, better suspension, automatic software updates, and a bunch of other small little improvements. So we will break all of that down, show off how things have changed, what we think about it, and take it out for a spin. So come along with us for an adventure.
Spoiler alert, best one, when you hit the thing, it gives you the option to go to cooling right away.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I just used that right now.
Best feature.
Yeah, so I guess first feature here, going right into it. First one is you used to have to go into the climate control settings to change between heated or cooled seats or to put on the heated steering wheel. This would remember what you used last and put it here. But if you wanted to switch from heated to cold, you would have to go into here to do so. Other stuff in here, we have like these are slightly different here, but the biggest thing is you have this preset now that you can save. So you have 1 and 2. So you can basically save, two different versions of how you like your vents and store it that way and then quickly recall it. Right? Yeah, I didn't save it, so it doesn't matter. You've always been able to drag these around to control where the air is blowing, but now you can actually save and recall.
Ooh, there we go. That's much better.
Okay, I guess we'll be playing around with that. Then otherwise here, all the controls are the same, although I like this more. This is more clear that the rear has got the cool on. Yeah, and even these two. So you can see now we have where the air is coming out and kind of how it's being directed. And then this is showing also, sorry. I don't think you can't change those. Just on or off. And then this is also showcasing this new 3D cell animation, which is sort of, I'd say anime-ish, but I think pretty cool. It's a very different UI.
Oh, I didn't realize we had defrosters on the side mirrors.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used this. But yeah, so this is showing kind of how this is different here. And everything else here is the same stuff. It's just a little bit redesigned. So let's actually just look here at what they say the changes are. So first off, we've got refreshed visual interface with 3D cell shading. So they have changed this to use the Unreal Engine to provide a more dynamic user environment and interactive user experience. So we'll show all of this, but basically every display in here and in the mobile app now show a new design on here. This is basically what we had already seen, kind of in a preview version of the software when we saw the R2. And then has new driver display power bar, gear indicator, and navigation visualizations on the screen over here, which we'll show in a bit. And I'd say this is maybe one of the more, I don't know, I'd say controversial. I don't think it's super controversial, but just where you notice some of the changes the most. Overall, I like it. I have some thoughts on the navigation that we'll get to, how they show the map here. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but we'll talk about that. And then they're using this new Rivian proprietary adventure font everywhere. So somebody's not a true software company until they create their own font. The same thing that Apple has with their San Francisco font. Google's got theirs that I forget what it's called. And now Rivian has got their own adventure font. Okay, so then we'll show this as we're driving.
Engineers have too much time on their hands.
We'll show this also as we're driving, but we have a live camera view for blind spot monitoring. So it basically shows the camera view in the display up here. We have climate control improvements that we just showed. So these vent presets for one-tap positioning with a single click.
And the direct access to side mirror heating, because I didn't even know we had it.
Oh yeah, so we didn't have that before. Yeah, okay.
We had it before, but I guess they put it on the face so you know you have it.
Ability to switch between seat heating and seat cooling from bottom center display here, and turn on steering wheel heating from the domain bar also. Definitely the best improvements. Now, this one is very hard to tell. I think I've noticed this, but they say there's a new suspension software for better ride comfort. So they've enhanced the suspension software, which they can do through tuning here. Fine-tuned damping for all drive modes to provide improved driving experience. Retuned ride feel options to offer broader range of body control. Improved software sensing and added automatic adjustment of damping control for varying load conditions, such as when carrying additional passengers, blah, blah, blah.
You don't need to read it to everyone. It's improved.
Yeah, so
either you feel it or you don't.
Now. Yeah. And then, some of this stuff is specifically for off-road, but some of it is also for low-speed driving around town. And it even says it should be better in dynamically adjusting to where weight in the vehicle is. So we'll see if we notice anything here with how the kids are all dispersed across the car. And we also have this option for automatic software updates now, which I don't think I'm going to turn on yet, just because I really like Rivian has done a great job with delivering software, but they did have that one blip last year where the software update went badly and people couldn't use their screens for a little bit. So I usually give it like a day or two to wait, but we'll see. I do like that you can at least schedule it. Oh, but it says it waits 8 hours anyway between downloading and installation, so okay, maybe fine. Improved Google Maps search?
No, no, it's not improved. You know why? It still says that there's a smash burger in town. Okay. There's no smash. There hasn't been a smash burger in 4 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Daddy, we did a party where...
I did not, sir.
Wait, Andrews, remember at the place with the Rivians? We were the first one to find the gear guard.
Yes, sir. And then additional improvements, so this is really just the little ones, but in the app version now you can use a trailer profile to plan a towing trip, like in the routing on there, which is nice. Enhanced look of turn signal indicators that are more visible and easy to notice in here. Fix some bugs in the infotainment that I've never noticed before. Improve vent positions to more consistently save and restore them after the vehicle sleeps. I wish that they fixed the thing where it doesn't go back to your seating position from the profile, but they clearly haven't because I'm still having that problem. And then they've done some stuff to like make the climate control a bit more effective, especially when it's hot, which is nice for the hot summer that we're having now. And then a couple of other like little bug fixes here, but I've never noticed any of these with issues before anyway.
Improved proximity lock and unlock turning for the iPhone Pro Max. Why is it just the iPhone Pro Max? I could really deal without this card locking and unlocking every time I go to the bathroom.
That's a separate thing. All right, so that's all of our changes here. So why don't we start driving now, and you can see at least some of the changes up here. So while we're doing that, do you want to show off? So like this navigation screen hasn't changed much.
I'm not putting Grandma's address in because
nor well, I also know where I'm going.
Do you though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing I've noticed, I don't know if this is just because
crash into Bob.
At least Bob's closed for once. This is the thing I've noticed more, like, I think it's because the dark mode is more obvious now. I've noticed, like, it's always starting in dark mode. I don't know if that's because, like,
we're in the garage.
Is it just based off of the light sensing problem? Yeah, I guess so. It's, like, slow to adjust back. It takes some time to, like, realize that you're back in the light, I've noticed.
Really?
It's standing out to me more. This is the second time I've noticed now after this update. So there's something about it that's just more noticeable.
Oh, it's in dark mode.
Yeah, okay. So now
there we go.
Right, I don't know. So there we go. Okay. So not too much change has changed here.
A little bit. Why is it zoomed in? I feel like it's zoomed in more. And then when you recenter, it zooms in even more, which is something that they might want to adjust because this is too much of a zoom.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's too much of a zoom. I like to know a little bit further up what I'm doing and then have the option to zoom in if I want.
Well, when you have navigation on, it's different, right? I'm just going to put in...
I'll do Bethlehem.
Yeah. Are you feeling that changed suspension feel already?
No.
I can't tell. Like, it's always been good to me. I know people complain about it, but it's always felt really good to me. So I've noticed maybe it's a little bit softer, and we just use like the default. What's it called?
Standard.
Standard? No, standard is the ride height.
All purpose.
No, ride feels soft. We use soft. Interesting.
Because we're on all purple.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna do moderate. So moderate is a new one that they introduced.
Another funeral.
Yeah.
It did it based on, like, if you have it on auto, it does the...
No. Yeah, so there are some changes here to this display up here. I'd say the biggest one I noticed, like, immediately, actually, kind of, you notice all of it. This is where you see, like, some of the biggest changes. So first off, actually, let me make sure you can... Well, let's show this first, and then I can switch the camera over here. All right, so this is the place where you see, like, these changes to this design philosophy the most.
Tell me what to click it.
So they have like all of this new animation now. So for each of the different ride modes, you've always had like these different, what do we even call this? Displays that show what the different modes are for. So all purpose, you've got like this one.
And now it's an animation that wasn't this.
Oh yeah, and also like you can, how do you do it? Yeah, if you do 2 fingers, you can like move it around. So like it's using like 3D modeling rather than it just being like a static picture or video. And then like conserve mode is, you could just, I immediately felt the, which one is it? The front axle's disconnect, or rear axle's disconnect.
Sport.
Yeah, so, look at that one. I like the little like animations, especially when you first go into it and like zooms in.
Snow puts you on the
I like snow, yeah.
All right. All purpose. Let's stop messing with the car.
So you have like all of those different ones. I don't think there's anything different over here.
No.
It's pretty much the same. So what do you think overall about these changes?
This doesn't do anything for me, to be honest. I don't.
I mean, it's not like you're in this view very often, right?
No, and here's the trailers thing. I found that.
Okay.
So you're not in this view often, so this doesn't really matter. I was wondering if this changed. No, the little stuff didn't change. Things that I've noticed are the climate thing I like. The climate screen itself, though, like it looks like it's going to take some getting used to figure out what all these are.
Yeah.
But I like that you can do the climate schedule from here, if I remember, when I get into the office, because like you said, we're having another heat wave here. So when I get into the car, it's usually at 124 degrees. I've noticed that it's consistently at 124 degrees, so I don't know if that's the peak that the thermometer goes to. And yeah, so I think if I can schedule that or do something better, because I also noticed that it is really humming when I get in here, if I do remember to set it to cold. And then I like that you could do the cooling seat straight from that and not have to open the climate. So that's nice. I think this is too zoomed in, to be honest. So I think something got messed up here, even with the navigation look. Like you're too... that's not where you want to go. I guarantee you, people, that's not where you want to go. Like, I think it's too... I don't know. Oh, no, I guess it zooms out a little bit. I don't know.
It changes the zoom level when you're navigating, at least based off of like where the next turn is.
I guess so. And then, yeah, I mean, other than that, like this pretty much stayed the same. Like it's not anything major. You'll show that picture in a minute. I think that is where the substantial change is, and I think I'm more likely to use the navigation on that now, or at least glance down more often than I am to peek over into the screen. Because it's more in your face and it's more obvious. Before it was kind of like faded, and it was like I'm using like too much. It was I don't know how to put it, like more suggestive of like the direction you should be going in, and I didn't felt like if I use that for navigation I was more likely to miss a turn in an unfamiliar setting, whereas now it's basically just a snap of this screen in a smaller window, which is a little bit better for navigating. You're going 287 east. And then they changed the speed thing a little bit, right? It's more bold. Yeah,
I think they're using the new font there. Well, if we're talking about all that stuff, let me change the camera in a minute.
All right.
Okay, so then, tell me about the changes.
So those, I mean, the most prominent thing on those is the maps, right? So you can actually, I feel like directionally it's giving better visuals as to where you need to be going, and I'm now more likely to notice it, because like before it felt like it was too blended into the background, and like it was just there for suggestion. Now I think, let's see, I'll let you know after this week, but I think I'm more likely to peek down there versus over to the side to the big screen.
My only problem is I'm just like not used to looking there, and especially with the Tesla too, like I've totally gotten used to looking to the right for navigation.
And I kind of also don't look there for speed, which is a problem, honestly, sometimes.
I'm used to using it in here for the speed, but which I guess means if I'm used to this, even with the Tesla not having it there, I guess I can get used to the navigation being over here too. Which
I think, because now you'll notice it more prominently when you do glance down at the speed.
But I don't pay attention to the navigation anyway, it's just suggestion.
It's just a suggestion, I know. And I also, because what I'm using the car for is going to and from work, and I only put the navigation on to know where the traffic is. I kind of don't need it anyway, unless it's taken me like, mostly I just have it on just in case it's actually telling me to detour because there's like some horrible accident or whatever on the parkway. And then they probably noticed while you just changed lanes, the camera that was added. Doesn't do anything for me. I don't use it in the Tesla. I don't rely on that. I've never relied on that. I've only now have a complete codependence on a backup camera. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe people like it.
I think it's nice to have the option. People were definitely asking for it, but I think I also see like now people are getting it and they realize it's not as useful as you would think. It's a little bit small. It's good as like a second check, but I mean, to me, I always first just turn my head and look out the window first, then look at the mirror. At least here you have like the little yellow light on it that tells you if there's a car, and the screen on here like beeps at you and flashes red if there's a car. So like you already have all of those things to tell you. The camera doesn't really like do too much else to help with that.
But people wanted it, people got it. Like
it's not bad. Like
does nothing for me.
And then But I like having it there, at least. It's nice, and I think especially, like, it's good that they have the capability there, and there's better cameras on the Gen 2 ones, so it's probably a little bit more useful even there.
But I don't even use it on the Tesla, though.
Yeah.
You like it on the Tesla. I don't. I mean, I guess it's good on the Tesla because it gives you no warning sounds whatsoever.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Which is actually very hard for me when I go from this car to the Tesla after being in this car for a long time and getting no warnings.
Hence me driving into the garage door when it was closed the one time. Yeah. Other than that, I think the only other changes are here it's a little bit different, like the speed gauge here.
In a minute.
So they're using the new font with the speed. I guess it always showed you, like, I think they moved around kind of where the indication of what drive mode you're in is. Is it like up here now? It used to be down here.
It is on, but stop touching it.
And I feel like this part's a little bit different with like the drive selection too. It takes up a lot of space. I don't know why it like needs to be like that, but it's
Carlo,
fine.
bud, please stop.
And then like this gauge here of when you're using electricity versus regenning is a bit different also.
It's
but
bigger.
all of this stuff was here.
It's bigger.
Yeah.
The speed thing is just more prominent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it in terms of the changes, right?
Yeah. They're showing that the company's not stagnant. That's what the changes are showing to me.
Yep.
A couple of nice key ones. Still waiting for that auto window close update, guys. That one would be clutch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think good progress.
And yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like, I think the design one especially is not because anyone was asking for it. I don't think they're not even saying it's a usability thing. I think it really is just for them to...
I think it's a branding thing more.
Yeah, exactly. Like now they have their own font, so they can kind of lean into like the Rivian-ness of stuff. They have like a more unified design language now across all of the different screens and in the app, and it'll be the same for like the R2 and R3 now, so it'll be, again, consistent Rivian thing. Yeah, I think it just allows them to be a little bit more like
cute.
unified with stuff.
I like it on the app, to be honest. I like it more on the app.
Yeah, me too. And but I don't think it's necessarily for any of that. But I think again, like it does show, hey, we're a real software company, like a tech company, not a car maker that struggles to do tech like a lot of the other ones are. And so I think it's a little bit more just kind of flexing to show we can do something like this and build up the confidence in their ability to deliver software updates. So I think that's awesome. Even just like the suspension changes of it's hard to tell any difference. I think it's mostly in my head, but it does feel a little bit better. And but just like being able to show that they can make changes like that via these over-the-air updates that are no different than what you get with your phone, I think is another kind of power move to show, look, we can constantly improve and update your vehicle, even these Generation 1 versions of it, even after the new ones have come. Like these are not being made obsolete and being ignored. Things are going to continue to get improved and developed with them. So I think all of that together is really much more interesting about this than like any one particular change here. Although I do like they're also adding some usability and safety things here, like the blind spot monitoring camera, this map being a little bit more usable, and just like some of the information here, like especially in the driver gauge screen, is just a little bit more glanceable and usable now. So I think all of that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments below. What do you think of these updates? Do you have a Rivian and are you excited about them? Do you wish that they would have just stuck with what they had? Or do you think that this is something cool that other brands should be emulating more and wish that maybe other vehicles you have would be doing the same thing? With that, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe, as it helps the channel a ton. And with that, we'll see you out there for another adventure soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, sir.